What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If we have not yet met, my name is Johnny Nitafan, and in this video, I'm going to be breaking down with you the best leads to work in 2024 as a final expense telesales agent. So these are the best leads to work in 2024 so you can make more money and feed your family with the income that you got into this business for. So don't forget to subscribe down below. Click the little link down below as well to join my private community in the description. It's the little button down there. And I'm actually going to be breaking down more with you guys how to be able to do this yourself and really like the A to Z how to become a profitable life insurance agent. And it all comes down to the leads that you work. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down everything, all that you need to know so that you can scale to whatever capacity that looks like for you, and you can make 2024 the best year of your life. So let's get right into it. So the first couple things that you need to be aware of as far as leads go is like there's tons of leads out there, but I'm going to be breaking down the pros and cons. And the biggest things to look for, like as a telesales life insurance agent, right? The first thing is like the volume is key. You want to have lots of at-bats. So what I mean by this is it's super important to have a lot of people to be able to speak with, especially when you're selling over the phone, because some people aren't going to answer. And it is absolutely crucial to have your pipeline flowing consistently where there's like tons of leads coming in every single day, and that you can be able to scale to whatever capacity is best for you as a telesales agent. And the reality is like you have to think about the curve, like the learning curve, especially if you're just starting out. You're not good at first. Probably don't even know how to sell yet. So you have to consider that part of the learning curve is that people, one, aren't not naturally going to trust as much over the phone when they can't even see you. And so you have to be okay with that getting more objections than you might in the field compared to over the phone, and just bracing for that. So that's why it's crucial to have a ton of leads to be able to go through, so that even if somebody hangs up or gives you an objection on the front end or even the back end, or doesn't want to give their social or banking over the phone, that you could just go to the next person and you have a super high quality person to speak with again. So the first one is volume is key. Telesales is a volume game. If you're playing with smaller numbers, it's not going to be the best and optimal for you, especially profitability wise, because you have to be an assassin if you're only having a few leads, because you have to optimize, like you have to maximize those leads. So volume is absolutely key. The second thing is scalable. Lots of opportunity where you can build a team around, and also a stable source. So you want to be able to have a source that you can scale for people who might not have a ton of money coming into the business. And so I'm going to get back into that. Like I'm going to get into that more a little bit later as we go along in the video. But you want to have a place where there's a ton of opportunity and that's tried and true, where it's been going for years on end now. New shiny things can definitely be tempting. I've fallen to them a lot, but the one thing that's really helped me like get this and get my leads dialed in is just finding a stable platform and just generating my own through that and finding my source through that. And the third and final thing is TCPA compliance, just because, especially with the new law that passed with leads possibly getting banned and people not being able to sell leads to multiple people and it only going to one person, it is crucial to be TCPA compliant because you don't want to get hit with the fees. So how to determine if a source is solid. The first thing is cost per acquisition. So I made another video going deeper into this. I'm going to drop it in the description or here on the video right here. But cost per acquisition is like how much do you have to pay to be able to make money on a customer? So here's what I mean is like if you were to get a live transfer and say it's $50 a piece, and it costs you or it takes you four transfers, so you're closing at 25%. If it takes you 4 people to be able to close one, your cost per acquisition is $200. So a good cost per acquisition, especially in the telesales final expense space, is $100 or less. $150 is still running smoothly, but you want to stay under $150 guaranteed. You don't want to go above that. So your cost per acquisition is crucial because that ultimately leads to your ROI, that leads to your average that leads to your profitability overall as a business owner. So not only do you want to be looking at cost per acquisition, but you also want to be looking at your average commission per policy. And this is going to be huge because there's some lead sources you might make $1,900 on an average lead or like an average close. It takes more to acquire the customer, but you make more on the back end, and you might get a bigger ROI or make more money. But overall, like, what is your average commission, and that's going to determine how solid a lead source is for you. So average commission, typically, especially for final expense leads, good one is about $800 to $1,200. That's what you could be looking for as an average commission. And then ROI, like every dollar that you put in, how much are you getting back? And I'm not talking about AP. I'm not talking about like how much you wrote. I'm talking about actual cash that you're able to collect in the first 30 days of the policy being issued. So no matter how you get paid, like if I put $1 in, how many am I going to get back? And a standard is like 1 to 4. And then anything under that, probably need to consider a different lead source. And then also, what's your presentation and closing ratio? Some are going to be smaller, some are going to be higher. I mean, being that TV leads are more expensive, you want to have a higher closing rate compared to like Facebook leads. They're going to be a completely different animal. I'm going to go deeper into that here in the video. And then also placement and persistency rate. These are metrics that not a lot of people track that do play a huge role in your profitability as a life insurance agent, because if you're closing, you can close anybody in the world, but you're only placing and like the client only pays the first premium 50% of the time. I mean, you're not profitable. So you want to have a lead source that is good placement rate and your persistency where the client keeps it for the first 13 months, how that looks. So it's really important to be able to choose a lead source. Okay. Now the different types of leads that I'm going to be breaking down in this video is a TV live transfer, a VA telemarketer, marketed callbacks, direct mail, and social media ad leads. Now the first one, TV live transfers, is pros. Super nice because they're high intent. People are actually physically calling into the channel and calling into the number. There's no dialing. I mean, they're just literally calling. Typically, they go to an operator, and the operator transfers them over to you after they collect some information. So they're really quality, and they physically called in themselves. So there's no dialing, and it's easy to get 3 to 5 presentations daily. Very simply, you just pay for it. So you're paying for it in time or money. This one, you're paying more in money. So have a ton of money up front to be able to invest in these leads and be willing to embrace the learning curve. You're going to have to spend more, but you could make more too, and it's scalable, which is nice. TV live transfers, the downsides is that they're expensive. I mean, they're $50 to $100 each. That it just could get up there in cost, especially if you're not like an absolute closer and somebody who's closing like tons and tons and tons of deals and aren't very skilled. So I wouldn't recommend TV live transfers, especially to start as a life insurance agent. So you're not going to get a ton of at-bats. You need to have a high closing rate to even be profitable. So you got to be closing at least like 1 out of 3, maybe 1 out of 4 to be profitable and actually make significant income from this lead source. And then also lots of price shoppers. They're getting hounded with tons and tons and inundated with like TV commercials, and a lot of it's like false information. I mean, there's different people that advertise $9.99 or $9.97 or $5 sometimes. So they're going to have unrealistic expectations when they do call in. So that's something to just consider. They're going to be price shopping. They're going to be calling a bunch of different people to be able to actually get the coverage that they're looking for. So there's going to be a lot of price shoppers. And then for VA telemarketed callbacks, I personally haven't worked these leads, but this is what I've heard from other agents that have a ton of experience, is that they're inexpensive. I mean, $15 to $20 each. Another pro is that they have already answered the phone. So when like a VA telemarketed callback is like when VA or overseas person is calling, making sure they answer and either transferring over to you or just asking them a bunch of questions and setting the appointment for you. So that's what's nice there. Now, there's going to be a lot of unhealthy people. There's a lot of GI business written on these leads, is from what I've heard. Also, these are the same people answer the phone, and replacement is higher, because what happens is when these lead vendors are selling these types of leads, they are using the same list over and over and over again to generate new callbacks. So they're the same people that are answering the phone, answering the questions. They may have a policy already, and they're easily replaced just because they're getting called consistently. Sometimes they're unsure what it's even about. And so that's something else to consider, especially with these callbacks, is like you might find more people with memory loss or dementia or Alzheimer's, and they might not even be sure what this is even about or what this is regarding. They might just answer the phone and just say yes, super nice, but like they might not even know that it's about life insurance. And then also lower quality client. I mean, a lot of guaranteed issue business from this. I wouldn't recommend these at all. Now the next one is direct mail leads. What's nice about these is that they're like a person's manually filling out the form, which is huge, right? They literally manually filled the form out. More likely to remember it because they did like put a pen to paper to actually write it down. Now, closing percentage will be higher per lead. So say if you get 10 leads, you're probably going to close 20 to 30%. But you have to go through, like, you're not going to have a ton of at-bats. So that's kind of the downfall of it, is that they are expensive, $50 to $75 a piece. These are definitely more for in-person. I mean, direct mail is still king for in-person. And then also not a ton of at-bats, have to close a high percentage to even be profitable, and more likely to want to buy in person because they're filling out a form, they're sending it in, they're more traditional. More likely to want to see you in person and want you to come out to the house. So that's something really to consider. They're more likely to buy in person on these direct mail leads. Now, the last one, and to be honest, the ones I use are social media leads. The pros are that they are low cost. I mean, $2 to $9 for a brand new lead. Lots of at-bats. You can get pre-booked appointments, 15-question survey funnels, and get more information per lead, which is really nice. And it's simple and duplicatable to scale because it's outbound, right? People are still filling out the form, but it's a lot of outbound. And that's where a solid business is built on, is like if you have a solid outbound team or a solid outbound agent and can train other people to be really solid at outbound, you're going to live really good for the rest of your life. Now, the downside is that you are going to dial more to talk with people. I mean, that's just the nature of it because most times they're not going to call in, or they may set an appointment with you, but the likelihood that they actually show up is not a tremendous amount, especially for final expense telesales. So that's just something to consider. They also have a lower shelf life. So when they fill out the form, they are hot and ready to go right away. But after 30 minutes, an hour, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, like these really age out quick. The closing percentage and the contact rate on these leads are going to go down tremendously. So they do have a lower shelf life. Now, you can get a ton of unhealthy people if you don't have the knowledge to be able to market. So if you're just kind of really generic in your marketing and generating these leads, you can get a lot of GI, like guaranteed issue business that doesn't pay you a ton. But if you do know how to market the right way and get a solid client that is healthy, that does have a bank account, you could really be profitable and do a lot of damage with these social media leads. So what do I recommend? I already mentioned it earlier, but like generating your own social media leads. I actually made a whole video breaking down how to do this. If you just look up like how to generate Facebook leads in 2020 or 2024, I made a whole video, like 35-minute training on how to do that. So go check out that video as well. So why do I recommend this? Well, first of all, you control your flow, start to finish. So you control from cold, they don't know who you are, to they know who you are, they fill out the form, you actually talk to them, and you can pretty much manufacture like how many people you present to on a day-to-day basis and how much leads you need to generate to be able to do that. And you have full control of your business. You're not outsourcing it to somebody else, because I always thought, and I want to ask you this question, like if you're outsourcing consistently, like the biggest part of your business, which is how to get the next customer, you really don't have a business. You're enslaved to other people. So if you truly want to be a business owner in the final expense telesales industry, this is the way to go. Controlling your flow. Because if not, I mean, do you really have a business? So that's definitely something I'd recommend. So you control your flow from start to finish, from like when they see the ad to like, and what they see on the front end to like literally for them closing on the policy. Now, another thing is getting pre-booked appointments. You can literally get people to call in and create ads so that they call in to you. And so you don't have to dial. I mean, you really don't have to. You can generate them if you know how to market or know somebody who knows how to market. Also, getting survey funnels. I mean, 15 question survey funnels and all this stuff. It's also scalable as a producer and an agency owner. So if you're an agency owner, this is the way to scale in 2024, especially outbound digital. Like it's just the way to go. It's the most profitable and the hardest ROI in my experience. There might be other leads out there that could be more profitable for you, but like in my experience overall, these are the number one leads to be able to work in 2024 so that you can scale to 20, 30, 40, 50,000 a month consistently as a producer, not even with the team, just as a producer. And then also tons of at-bats for a low cost. So these are the leads that you need to be working here in 2024 is generating your own leads. So if you need help doing that, click the link down below, book a call with me. We'll talk and like see if it's actually a good fit and if this is for you. If it is, perfect. We will start getting your leads up and running. It takes like less than a day to start generating your own leads. It's not this huge, long, drawn out process. And this is really where I turn my business around, is generating these types of leads so I can scale to the moon. So if you're wanting to make 2024 the best year of your life, let me know and we'll chat, see if it makes sense and move forward. And if not, cool. But these are the leads to work in 2024 if you're wanting to scale as a final expense telesales agent. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Share this with a friend as well. Like help them out. And sharing is caring. I make these videos so that you can make more money as a telesales agent. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and I want to be your number one trusted source for the being able to scale as a telesales agent. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. If you haven't already, click the link down below. Apply to work with me one-on-one, where I'm actually going to coach you on all these strategies more in depth. And also, don't forget to subscribe. Share this with a friend if you found it valuable. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.